Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yep, that's good. All right, today's Saturday. We're coming up on 9 weeks. I always have to do my maths, so I'll do a bit of quick maths. 9 7's 56, less 1 is 55, day 55. We're here. And I'm chilling. I'm going to go and see my girls this afternoon. Really looking forward to that. And I just wanted to discuss something that happened yesterday, and it was always bound to happen. You know, I've first of all, I will say that I've been through some challenges at my job, and I've decided to shift my mindset to one of my glass being half full, not half empty, being grateful for what I do have, not what I don't, and having the wisdom to know what I can change and what I can't. And I've been through that exact process with where I'm living over the last week too. You know, ideally I want to live by myself, but at the moment, this is what I've got. And I've got to take the good and leave the bad. And I mean, this is pretty damn good. I've got the morning here to myself. Both flatmates are out. And I thought I'd take this opportunity, I don't know when or where I'm going to get them, to sit down and have a bit of a chat about what happened last night. Now, I wasn't going to jump to any conclusions, but I believe I live with 2 drinkers, and everyday drinkers. And does that make them an alcoholic? You can't tell anyone if they're an alcoholic or not. I mean, we all know that. But they've certainly got the tendencies. And my first challenge was going to be looking in the fridge and looking in the cupboards and on the bench tops and seeing alcohol, having alcohol in the house, which is a massive trigger for me, and saying no. I mean, I'd be stealing it anyway, but just the temptation would be there, and I'd be thinking about possibly going and getting my own. But 1 week down, I've been able to move past that. I mean, I leave the house pretty early in the morning, pretty quickly, I should say. Not as early as them, but pretty quickly, and get out of the house, and then I don't think about it until I come home, and I don't come home after the gym until 6:30, and then that's it. I eat something for dinner, I have a bit of a chat, and I go and chill in my room, and that's okay. But what I was expecting to happen at some point was getting offered a drink, getting asked, do I drink? And I've gotten asked by both of them, and both of them asked me last night. And I got offered a drink. And I said, probably not. I'm trying to stay off of it, right? Just beat around the bush a little bit, but be honest. I'm not going to say I've had my issues and I'm trying to go sober, but I did say, not tonight. Look, I've had, and he pushed. He's like, no, this is a really nice drink. It's Bailey's, chocolate Bailey's with a liqueur. I think it was a Jaffa liqueur, and it was like a Jaffa lolly. You see, a ball of chocolate with orange coating. And I mean, to have an alcoholic beverage, a small one at that, but for it to taste like a Jaffa, you're winning, right? No alcoholic taste. It might be strong, it might hit you, but you're not going to taste the ethanol. And I mean, that's what we all look for. We look for a drink that we can get down and that tastes nice. And at the end of the day, no alcohol tastes nice. But, all right, so that sets the scene. I was asked if I drink. I said, yeah, every now and then. But I'm trying not to at the moment. And then I got offered the drink, and I had to say no. And then he was making it anyway, and he said, look, if you don't want it, just pour it down the sink. And I said, bro, honestly, I don't want to waste it. Before you pour it for me, I'm not going to drink it. And so that was that. That got put to bed. Will I get offered a drink in future? Maybe not. Maybe that's the only time I'm going to have to deal with it. But following that, the other flatmate came home. I was watching a bit of rugby league. We're sitting in the rumpus room, and he came in, and he'd been out after work for about 3-4 hours, had some drinks, came home, obviously quite happy. And to be honest, sober, I enjoy people when they've been drinking because they are more talkative, and they, I can see certain traits, certain conversational patterns that are familiar, and that, people can be more sort of confident, obviously, in what they're saying, more argumentative at times. And if an argument, even about anything, I'm just sitting there chilling. It's fucking 9 o'clock at night. I'm just chilling and ready to go to bed. I don't want to get into any, arguments. But if I was drinking, I could sit there till midnight talking about this shit. But anyway, it was good. We had some good chats, and but he was sitting there with me drinking, and that's okay. It's got to be okay. We have to be willing to socialise, for one, but be around people drinking. We have to. We can't force this on anyone. And like the last thing I would ever do is try and bring up someone else's alcohol habits or their, choices. That's not my place to do, and I never ever would do that. But having stayed here a week, being grateful for what I do have. I got my tooth out yesterday, which is a fucking relief. So honestly, this morning, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling pretty content, and I'm feeling pretty proud because I was able to say no and let them down softly without divulging my entire story, because no one needs to hear that. And if they do want to hear it or watch it, well, it's on YouTube, isn't it? The last 2.5 years of my life is on YouTube around substance use and abuse. I'm feeling like this video's come out pretty well. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's mental. I don't know whether it's being in this situation, being outside with the pool in front of me. But I feel like I'm talking a little bit more effectively than I have done in the previous couple of videos, which is nice to see. Nice to see. I don't know whether that's because I've got a topic to talk about, but I'm hoping this continues. Alright, so I've got another video planned for tomorrow and another video planned for the next day. They're going to be about certain topics. I feel like the vlogs, the daily vlogs, day in the life type videos, I'm just going to leave at the moment. You know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. My dad arrives on Tuesday. I'm going to meet him Wednesday night. We're going to have dinner. We're going to discuss a plan for him and the girls to get together. That's going to be huge. I'm trying not to think of it. Like, honestly, one of the things I'm trying not to think about it. Look, before I go off on a tangent, the last thing I will say is that overall, I can taste blood. That's not good. Overall, I am trying to train my brain into realizing that I've got some sort of decision or situation that I'm going to have to confront, but if it's not right here, right now in front of me, I'm trying my best not to think about it. It goes back to the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. It's going to happen, and I can't change anything in the lead up to it. All I can change is my attitude and how I turn up on the day. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can, so it's the courage to know that it's going to happen, but just do it anyway. And the wisdom to know the difference. So it's the wisdom part that I'm working on. It's knowing that I can't do anything at the moment. I'm going to try not to think about it, just live in the moment more so, rather than just constantly being depressed about the past or anxious about the future, because that's what depression and anxiety is. And if you go to certain countries around the world, I'm led to believe depression and anxiety is not even in the dictionary, because they do live in the moment. And sometimes it's not easy and it's not possible, but I'm doing my best, and that's all we can do. So thank you for watching. That was my experience. A bit of a chit chat. I feel it's gone well. And I hope you got something from it.